Good morning everyone. I am Aishwarya Das, Assistant Professor in Electronics and Telecommunication branch of James Polytechnic. Today I am going to discuss about the basic block diagram of a closed loop control system. Control system is a compulsory paper of 6th semester Electronics and Telecommunication branch. Basic block diagram of a closed loop control system. Before that, I need to explain what is actually control system. Control system is a system design in which we get a desired output. A desired output is set, and to find that desired value, there is a controller part. That controller part will manually change the input so that we can get the desired output. So there is a feedback path also we can use to control the input. Whether feedback is used or not, according to that, control systems are classified into two groups. One is open loop control system, another is closed loop control system. In open loop control system, there is simply a controller block. Let me show you what is the basic block diagram. If I will show an open loop control system, simply I can take the input to a controller block. The output of the controller block is directly connected to the system. This is the output. So manually, each time we are getting the output is checked whether we are getting the desired output or not. And if we are not getting the desired output, this controller block will manually vary the input so that we can get the desired output. But if I will connect a feedback path from this output to input, then it will be more efficient. So automatically the system will generate the desired output by taking a fraction of output to the input side through the feedback path. That is called a closed loop control system. This R is the reference input. Through a summing point, it is connected to the system, where G of S indicates the system transfer function. C of S is the output response. From this output, by taking a feedback through the gain H of S, we can connect it by this summing point. Here I am taking a negative feedback, so at the summing point I am giving a negative sign. This point from which I am taking the feedback, this point is called as a takeoff point. And this is a summing point. When multiple signals are summarized or it may be subtract, but this point is known as a summing point in general. So I want to find the transfer function, the overall transfer function of this closed loop system. So before going to find the transfer function, from each step I need to find what is the signal. Here let's take the error signal as E of S, the feedback signal as B of S. This is the output. So one by one, let me write. We can write B of S is equal to, it is a part taken from C of S through the transfer function H of S. So simply I can write it is C of S into h of s. Let's take equation 1. Then c of s I can write. Here it is c of s, which is coming from this system having transfer function g of s, which is taken the input e of s. So simply I can write it is e of s into g of s. Let's take it equation number 2. Another signal is this error signal, which is coming from this summing point. So what are the inputs to the summing point? One is r of s, another is b of s. So simply I can write e of s is equal to r of s minus b of s. Let's take it as equation number 3. So these three equations are sufficient to find the transfer function of this block. Just by applying simple mathematical formula, we can rearrange these equations to get the transfer function. Before that, let me explain what is the transfer function actually. So transfer function is nothing but the Laplace transform of output response to the input. So why we are taking the Laplace transform? Because most of the control system, they are sensitive to the frequency. So we need to express the signal, all the signal in frequency domain. So to represent the signal, any time domain signal into frequency domain, we need to transform it by Laplace transform. Here you can see all the signals are taken as the function of S. What is S? This S is the complex frequency. So all the signal are represented in form of the function of this complex frequency. This complex frequency, it has a real part, it has an imaginary part. As the control systems, they are reactive to the frequency term. That's why we are representing all the terms in terms of the function of a frequency. So if I want to find the transfer function, this particular block diagram, here the output is C of S, input is R of S. Now I want to take the ratio of output to input. This expression represents the transfer function of this block diagram. Now, by rearranging these three equations, I want to find the transfer function. Means I have to find this ratio by rearranging all these equations. How? Let me do. From this equation, C of S is equal to E of S into G of S. What is this E of S? This is the error signal which we have found from this summing point. E of S is replaced by R of S minus B of S in this equation. Again, R of S minus B of S. What is this B of S? B of S is a part taken from this output signal. This output coming through this H of S, which is the gain of the feedback. Then we are getting B of S. That's why simply I have written here B of S is equal to C of S into H of S. Now by replacing this equation here, we can write R of S in place of B of S. There is C of S into H of S, G of S as it is. By simplifying this, I can write R of S into G of S minus C of S into H of S into G of S. Just I can rearrange these equations by taking this part to the other side. This is C of S into H of S into G of S, that is equals to R of S into G of S. Taking C of S as common, the expression will become 1 plus H of S into G of S is equals to R of S into G of S. Now, what is my aim? To find the transfer function. That is the ratio of output response to input response. So, look at this equation. From this equation, by rearranging, I can find this ratio. How? Because this is R of S into G of S. Here it is C of S. So, if I will rearrange as this ratio, I can write here C of S by R of S is equal to G of S by 1 plus H of S into G of S. This is what the transfer function of this particular block when I have taken the feedback as negative feedback. But if I will take it as a positive feedback, what changes will occur? If this part will be positive, what change will occur? See, nothing will change. B of S is simply C of S into H of S. That is okay. C of S is simply E of S into G of S. That is also okay. Which part will change? This error. So E of S will become R of S plus B of S. Now what changes will occur? If this will become plus, again this side R of S plus B of S, all these minus terms will become plus. So if this will become plus, this factor will come to the other side. Now, this part will become minus. So, what I will get here, it will be 1 minus H of S into G of S. So, when the feedback is positive, this expression will become minus. This is how I can calculate. This is how I can get the transfer function of this block by taking positive feedback. So in general, if I will write by taking this feedback plus or minus, a general expression I can give here, the transfer function of the closed loop system as G of S by R of S is equal to G of S by 1 minus plus minus H of S into G of S. But most of the time we are taking this feedback as a negative feedback, because negative feedback improves the responsivity of the system, the efficiency of the system, it reduces the noise of the system. So negative feedback are more advantageous as compared to positive feedback, because if I will take the positive feedback from this side, your output will increase one by one step. So this will decrease the system stability. To maintain the stability of a system, we must have to take this feedback as a negative feedback. Another thing, if I need to increase the gain, I can take here gains in series. I can arrange gains in parallel according to whatever I have taken, whatever I have arranging in the block diagram. Depending upon that arrangement, the transfer function will change. We can arrange the forward gains in parallel or in series, that it is G1 of S, G2 of S. If this is my input, these two blocks can be replaced by a single block as G1 of S, G2 of S. simply the product of the two gains in series. If these two gains are connected in parallel, G1 of S, G2 of S, these two will be added and the overall gain will be G1 of S plus G2 of S. So these are the methods we can apply to reduce a complex block diagram into a simple block diagram. Whenever we need to find the transfer function of a complex block diagram, we have to reduce the blocks step by step by rearranging what are connected in parallel, which are connected in series. By reducing those blocks, I can make it into the closed loop or open loop simple control system. If I will make it in form of this simple closed loop control system which I have just derived, by taking into this form, I can find the overall transfer function of the block. So this is the basic format. Whatever the complex block diagram given, I can reduce it into this form so that I can put this formula to find the overall transfer function of any complex block. This is the method how I can find the transfer function of a block diagram. This is how I can find the transfer function of any complex block diagram by reducing it into the closed loop block of a simple control system so that I can put this formula. This is the method to reduce the block diagram into the simple closed loop control system.